Our 507 ESD tile is a specialist product. It's designed for use in areas where the build-up of static electricity could cause serious problems to expensive computer and electronic equipment. ESD, or electrostatic discharge, is the release of static electricity when two objects come into contact. ESD flooring is designed to safely conduct away to ground any electrical charge that builds up during this contact. We recently installed ESD flooring in a large office area of 285 square meters. This was a fairly standard installation, but did present a number of issues that needed to be addressed before the work was completed. It's always a good idea to do a site survey in any large area where tiles are due to be installed. In the case of an ESD installation, this is particularly important. If there's any doubt as to whether the floor has already been grounded, or, as is the case here, where these metal tiles will cause the floor to ground, the entire area requires to be insulated. We recommend thick polythene sheeting to do this. Make sure you measure and order this in advance. Other items that got flagged up during our survey were these metal ventilation grills. As all of our tiles require a 5mm expansion gap, the edge of the ESD tiles will not actually touch these grills, so these won't present a problem in this case. The tile you'll need for this installation is our 507 ESD tile. All of our tiles are 500mm by 500mm, so to estimate the amount of tiles you need, multiply the total square meters by 4. In the case of this installation, the floor area was 285 square meters, and we needed 1,140 tiles. When you install an ESD floor, you'll require black conductive tape to make a grid, which sits under the tiles and provides a direct route from each tile to your grounding point. We recommend Velostat conductive tubing for this purpose. To work out roughly how much you'll need, multiply the number of square meters of flooring by 2.5. So in the case of this installation, the floor area is 285 square meters, and we needed approximately 713 meters of conductive tape. In an ESD installation, every 80 to 100 square meters, you'll need to install a special grounding tile that should be within reach of a wall socket or grounding point. We used 3 grounding tiles for this installation. Check our website for the details of this ESD grounding kit, which contains the tile. In the case of this particular installation, we also needed to order polythene sheeting to insulate the old floor before adding the new tiles. Any robust plastic sheeting will be suitable for this. And adhesive tape. Typical tools for an installation would include a measuring tape, a metal ruler, a rubber mallet, a chalk line reel, and a Stanley knife or jigsaw for cutting. You should also bring a floor brush and a hoover to make sure the entire area is as dust-free as possible. Also, in this larger area, you may find that it's worth hiring in a couple of tools to help. This guillotine speeds up the cutting of the tiles. It's important to clean the tiles after installation for 2 reasons. Firstly, if they have been exposed to changes in temperature, it's possible that a very thin, waxy layer will have built up on the surface. This can happen during transport or while being stored in a warehouse. The second reason is to remove any dust and dirt that may have been created during installation. The polythene sheeting has to be put down carefully and in a systematic way. Ensure that all the edges are square by cutting each length with a metal ruler. After you've cut a number of sheets, you're ready to start taping it over the old floor. To help keep it square and provide a straight edge to work from, we mark a line by using our adhesive tape. The first couple of sheets are then lined up to the edge of the tape. Throughout the process, keep the sheets pulled tight and secure with adhesive tape. If you don't do this, the polythene sheets will bunch up when you attempt to put the conductive tape and the new tiles on top. Always overlap the sheets to avoid any possibility of gaps. This shows you how the area looks with a large section of the polythene sheeting complete. Plan your tile layout with the following in mind. The interlocking seam of the tiles have to land over the conductive tapes. This ensures that every tile is in direct contact with the grounding tape and therefore has a direct route to the grounding point. As you can see, each vertical length of black conductive tape is at an equal distance from the next. This measurement is 1,000 millimeters from center to center. The horizontal lines of conductive tape measure 5,000 millimeters center to center. Using your measuring tape, work out the best layout for your tiles, taking all of this into consideration. Secure the first length of conductive tape at the top and run the line of tape the length of the floor. Secure the tape. Use your measuring tape to place the second line of the conductive tape 1,000 millimeter from the center of the first. The edges of the conductive tape are kept away from the metal ventilation grills. We were able to use the old tiles under the polythene to guide us in running the conductive tape in straight lines. Continue adding lines of tape, measuring each one off the last. Now add the horizontal lines of the conductive tape over the top of the vertical ones. These should measure 5,000 millimeters center to center. Secure each end of the tape. Measure from the wall to the edge of where your first line of tiles will be. Mark this and leave a couple of tiles piled on top of each other here. Use this same measurement to mark and place another pile of tiles at the top of the area. Screw in the chalk line string at the top mark and bring the string under the pile of tiles to secure. Now take another measurement and mark this in front of the tiles. Walk the string down to the bottom mark. Now take another measurement from the wall and mark that in front of your pile of tiles. Line up the string with both marks, bringing it under the tiles to secure. With one of you at each end, adjust the string and the tiles to line up the string with all marks. The first line of tiles must be laid straight, using your marked line as reference. Notice how the tile junctions land in the middle of the conductive tape. Work your way down the room, putting in the first couple of lines of tiles. Check and make adjustments as you go, ensuring that the edge of the tiles always line up with your reference. Continue adding tiles until you're ready to make cuts. Between the tiles and any wall, there needs to be a 5mm expansion gap. To help you accurately measure this, the corner of every tile has a square marker set back 5mm from the main lug of the tile. Where the tiles meet the metal ventilation grills, the 5mm expansion gap also prevents the tile from touching the metal. If you've hired a guillotine, this will speed up any straight cuts that need to be made. For cuts that involve more measuring and marking, the Stanley knife will be more suitable. Grounding tiles need to be used every 80 to 100 square meters. In our installation, we used 3 of them. In an office environment, the easiest earth to access will be one of the earths on a standard electrical socket. The grounding tile is installed as normal with the tile's metal stud in an area that will be out of the way of office traffic. Clip one end of the yellow cable onto the stud and the other onto the yellow plug. Insert the plug into the socket, ensuring that the socket is switched off and stays off. All the items you need come as part of our ESD grounding kit. As mentioned earlier, it's important to clean the tiles after installation and also to continue to clean them periodically, as even a thin layer of dust or dirt can impact on the ESD performance of the floor. This particular commercial machine works in a similar way to a carpet cleaner, one setting for doing the cleaning, while the other extracts any fluid left on the floor surface. This is how the area looks after the tile installation. This is how it looked before.